This is crazy because it went live through Facebook. All right, so stream info, private chat. Just give me 1 second. This can be kind of clunky. I think I got everything I need here. Guests, invite guests, copy, and then let me just jump over here. Paste. There you go. Alrighty. Give me 1 second. She should be here in a hot second. Huh? No.
All right, let's see. I can't hear you for some reason. Hold on 1 second. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay. What about you? Do you have your mic muted?
No, I don't. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can't. Damn.
No?
StreamYard. Hold on a second. Can you hear me now, sis?
I can hear you.
There you go. Okay, I guess the mic was interfering. All righty. We're here. We got it. It was a little clunky, but we got it. All right. So. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back to Conflicts and Relationships. I definitely wanted to have you on this discussion because you posted a couple of those videos and you had some interesting commentary. Let me read this article for you, and then we're going to get into this. We only got a little bit of time because I have another one I'm doing at 8:30, but I did want to get your unique perspective.
Definitely.
All right?
Yeah.
Tyler Perry sparks debate after sharing his advice for couples who split bills in relationship. Tyler Perry has sparked a debate after sharing his candid thoughts about how couples can split the bills in their relationship. The actor, 54, made the remarks about couples managing their finances while living together during a recent appearance on Crystal Renee Hazlett's Keep It Positive, Sweetie podcast. He started off by claiming that as a people enter in the dating world, they'll discover that women are making more money than men. A lot of women, especially Black women, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but I will, he said, in our society right now, Black women are making a lot more money for the most part than Black men. He added that while there are a lot of Black men who are successful, Black women are the ones making the money for the most part. With that in mind, Perry encouraged women to pursue relationships with men based on their personality traits and not based on how much money they make. If you can find love, if that man works at whatever job and is a good man and is good to you and honors the house and honors his wife and does what he can, he explained, because his gift may not be your gift, that is okay. The Tyler Perry sister star also noted that when women date men who make less money than them, it does not mean that these men are beneath them. He then emphasized that as long as both partners are comfortable with it, a woman can be the one to cover the expensive finances rather than a boyfriend. That's somebody who came to love you at your worth, and as long as he's securing himself to know that, yep, she makes most of the money. All I can pay is the light bill, he says. Oh my God. As long as she's comfortable enough to say, I'm going to cover the mortgage and all the other stuff. You pay the light bill, babe. You can take me to dinner every now and then. That's fine. Perry went on to claim that his perspective is hard for a lot of people to take in due to their expectations in the dating world, such as needing a partner who makes 5 times as much as them. However, according to the filmmaker, couples can still find ways to support each other, even if one person makes more money than the other. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Your opening thoughts.
Oh my Jesus. Well, my opening thoughts right off the back is that his facts are not necessarily are not true, because statistically black men still make more than black women. There's
Right,
the percentage is still up there. Okay.
right,
Yes, now, or women, I don't know if this was turned into, I know I shared a couple of things, and the one lady was talking about how basically he turned it into a black thing. And at first, while watching that little clip, I didn't take it as a black thing, but in her opinion, she wasn't wrong as far as, one, we already deal with, if we're taking it that way, it's like, a black man sitting here influencing black people and black relationships. If we're going to take it there, I do feel as though, what he said wasn't wrong to an extent, but there are a lot of black men out here who need to also realize that you're not supposed to stay stagnant, and it's okay to to have your woman, sitting here paying majority of the bills. But I do feel like most women nowadays, um it's not based off of personality up until their biological time clock starts ticking, and
right.
now they realize that, oh, okay, well, I might have to settle. Now they're sitting here looking in the mirror, sitting here trying to figure out how can they fix themselves, when in all actuality, the biological tick tock clock is ticking. So, with that being said,
Oh, wow. What happened?
do can sorry about that.
Oh, good.
I definitely do feel like there needs to be better role models in our community when it comes to black men. I realize that, and it's just not people. Like, people think that, the abnorm is now norm, when in all actuality, it be a little bit of everything, a little bit of mental health, a little bit of, you know uh self failure to self recognize and take accountability of your one's actions. I again,
Well,
this is
let me just interrupt you and let me get to the meat of this.
yeah, needed this.
I know that you
Yes.
have gone on record
Yeah.
and said that you have been in a couple of relationships where you were the higher earner.
Yes.
And
Yes.
now at this stage of your life, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 31. I just turned 31.
Okay, so you're 31. All right. So now at this stage of your life, are you still comfortable with that?
I'm comfortable only if I see and I know that you have goals, and you're motivated and you have a plan. Because again, I feel like when you partner with someone, you shouldn't be okay with the other partner being stagnant. You shouldn't be okay with paying majority of the bills. Don't get me wrong, it does take a partnership, if the kids are involved and all that and stuff like that. But I would take someone who makes a little less than me, because the plan and the goal is to uplift him so that way he can make more and be that leader if he wants to, in a different way. I feel like my failed relationships really just came from seeing and noticing that they didn't want to change. They were okay with where they were, and I became the nagger because I was motivated. I seen potential that they didn't see. So I do think that he wasn't wrong. But again, I'm a woman who, I don't just date for money. You have to date for the right reasons. If you're dating for marriage, then you have to also look at what marriage is about. And marriage, me personally, in my own opinion, marriage is selfless, not selfish. And so if you're sitting here and you're with someone and they're watching the kids all day and they're at home and all this stuff, and you're at work all day, you know why wouldn't you want to come home and see a little bit better, like, for your partner? You know what I'm saying? I'm all for that. I feel like the roles definitely have changed, especially in our Black community, and it's for so many reasons. And I do believe that a lot of women are a little lost because we're raised to be so strong and independent, but eventually you start to realize that you can't do it alone, and you don't want to do it alone. And I am a firm believer that, call me a little old school, I'm a little traditional and modern, but
Mhm.
I do believe that us women, we're here to nurture, and we're here to teach, and we're here to build family legacies, and the idea that
Let me
we
ask you,
learn. Yeah.
me, my, right? And I was talking in my DV class earlier, and we were talking about this three stories of a man:
Mm,
story of a boy, the story of a teenager, story of a man.
mhm.
Within three stories of a man, you have to look at that man's first interaction with women.
Okay.
If your first interaction with a woman was toxic, that follows you throughout your life. And the reason being is that if your first interaction with a woman was toxic, okay, that boy didn't have the words, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to put to the situations that he saw. So he internalizes it and he grows up with it. But likewise, every woman has three stories also.
I was gonna say, it's definitely, you're right.
Every has a story of a girl, story of a teenager, story of a woman. I turned out to be a caretaker. Why? Because when I was younger, when my dad left my mom struggled very hard. And I talked about this in the class. The one specific story I remember the most, other than the fact that we had to go on a run, is that I remember when our refrigerator went out, and because we didn't live in regular projects or anything like that, we lived in a co-op. We had to replace the refrigerator. My mom didn't have the money, so long story short, we lived out of a cooler for 5 months, 5 months, and I will never forget that. So when I got older, I always sought out women that needed to be taken care of, and I didn't understand why. So through therapy sessions with my mentor, what I found out is deep down inside, that little boy, he wanted his mother to be taken care of. And so when he grew up, he began to take care of women the way that he wanted his dad to take care of his mother.
Yeah,
So I'm not saying that this is the same circumstance you went through.
yeah.
When you were dealing with men and you made more money than them, and you're being very nice, but probably in between the lines, dudes started kind of leaning on you. You know what I'm saying?
I became an enabler. That's what I.
Exactly. So somewhere in your story, you must have saw it was okay for a woman to take care of a man. I don't know exactly where it was, but somewhere in your story, you saw it was okay. Now, as a 31-year-old, I watch your posts, I talk to you, and I admire you. And I know you ain't down with that bullshit no more. you ain't down with that no more. And you're basically like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like you kind of come correct or don't come at all. You need
Yeah,
to pull your own weight. And
yeah,
I respect that because me, it's the opposite. I have never ever had a woman take care of me. I don't even know what it's like. You know what I'm saying? Because I have always got after my money. You know me. If you see my Facebook post, I
yeah.
literally have 3 jobs in the business. You know what I'm saying? So I've never had nobody. I don't even know. Like last year, I was in a relationship and somebody took me out for my birthday. Do you know that's like the first time that ever happened in my 51 years of living? Like
Wow.
nobody took me out for my birthday. And so what I'm saying is that I think that when we get involved in these kind of things, it comes from something that we saw that made it normal when we was younger. And we
Yeah,
gotta. This is some a conversation we're gonna have to continue. But here's what my mentor taught me: when you're young and you see these things, you're not mature enough to put words to these things.
yeah.
Because you don't put words to them, what ends up happening is you internalize it and it becomes a fact to you.
Right.
So when you get older and you see, wait, this is crazy. This wasn't supposed to happen. It's too late because your inner child has already accepted, I need to take care of men. I need to take care of women. I need to accept this. I need to accept that. And you never put words to those situations. So as a teenager, you just see more to add to that stuff that you saw as a child. So now you're an adult and you have a different perspective and you go around like I used to ask people, why is it that I always look for women that I got to take care of? Why do I attract women like this? You know what I'm saying? And what I found out is that young child, that's what that young child saw, and I never corrected that perception with the right words. Do you think that's plausible?
I definitely do. I definitely do. It starts, and people don't realize this because again, it goes back to normalizing talking to people, and therapy is okay because when you're young, you don't realize how everything is already kind of set in stone. What's going around you, what's going on around you is kind of molding you,
Right,
and or if
right,
you're not around the right people and environment to sit here and break those bad habits or those things. And not to mention that, especially in the Black community, we're definitely brought up just a little different and a more callous and more, we're be a little all over the place, you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
You have if you realize that, once you start to realize that, this is not normal, this is not okay, this is not right, let me try to get some help, let me try to figure out, how can I make my life better for me. And I
mm,
really do believe that it starts with yourself. If you're not happy with yourself, and you're not, at least, like, I don't believe in being content with yourself, but if you are even content with yourself, you're leaving a little bit of room to have, doubt for a lot of things, and that doubt can, enable you to prosper in life,
right, right.
um so I do, I 100% agree with you when you say that, trauma definitely follows you, and
Hmm.
people walking around every day, and what they're doing is releasing their trauma unawareingly, like unknowingly, and that can be many ways. It could be the aura, the vibes, the even a conversation. Sometimes I know you met some people where you have some conversations with them, you're trying to teach and spread a little light, and sometimes you may be like, oh Lord, okay, he ain't getting it, they're not getting it. That's okay.
A lot of times it's crazy, but listen, we got to go. But here's the one thing I would say. This is the one thing I said in the class, and I want to impart to everybody that's listening. When you get angry and you can't control yourself, the person that is running things is the inner child. When you get depressed and you don't realize who's running things, the person that's running things is the inner child. And if you don't correct and heal that inner child begins to run your life and do stuff. And so, again, if your child, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, saw your mother being taken care of by a man, then that's kind of what your child learned. But if your child saw your mother taking care of men, then when you go on autopilot, is your inner child looking for men to be taken care of. Likewise, as a man with a woman, if all you ever saw was your mother struggling or whatever, and it broke your heart, then when you know what I'm saying, like that child begins to attract
Yeah,
people who need to be taken care of, so you could justify. My mentor always says the ego's job is to seek but never find. Listen, sis, we will continue this. I'm so glad you came on. Thank you very much.
thank you for having
Um, yes,
me.
ma'am. No, we're going to do many collaborations, like I said. Have a
Yeah,
beautiful night. Much love to you.
thank you, you too. Bye.